All right, I've got a question, Unit 3, Lesson 3, Part 1. This is question 9b. So we have a problem on the bottom because the bottom will equal 0. So in order to fix that problem, we're going to have to multiply by the conjugate because there's no factoring available here. So, or I should say no real simple factoring. Oops, we're going to multiply by our conjugate, 3 minus x plus 1. So that would mean that the limit as x approaches 2 on top. Again, do not expand. Expanding is the opposite of factoring, so you don't want to get into that. So it's going to be a little bit of an ugly mess on top. But on the bottom, it will clean up. We'll end up with 3 minus x minus 1. So then it becomes the limit as x approaches 2. On the bottom, we're going to have a 2 minus x. And on top, 6 minus x minus 2. 3 minus x plus 1. Now, unfortunately, when we look at this and we plug in our value, we still have 0 on the bottom. Are we done? Not quite yet, because we still have a complicated expression on top. We still haven't touched that original numerator. So can we do something with it in order to help out with that denominator? Well, again, it's similar to the bottom. We can't factor it, but what could we do or could have done with it? Well, we could have also multiplied it by its conjugate, because again, when you multiply by that conjugate, this whole fraction that I'm writing right now is simply a value of 1. So we're not changing the value of our expression. We're just multiplying by 1. So it doesn't hurt in trying. And this is really your last resort because there's no multiple fractions involved, and there's no more conjugates to be taken. So if this doesn't work, then we have an expression that is just not possible or does not exist. So the two that I'm multiplying together right here, again, they're a difference of squares. So again, I'll do this the long way. So we're left with 6 minus x under the square root minus 4. 3 minus x plus 1 is on top. I'm going to put the 2 minus x in brackets. And then it's being multiplied by square root of 6 minus x plus 2. Now, if we simplify, 6 minus 4 is 2 minus x. That's what that expression or that bracket becomes. That's exactly what we needed. So our 2 minus x's cancel out. So we need to reevaluate and decide whether we still have a problem. So just let me get that rewrote. So do we have a problem in our denominator? If I let x go to 2, square root, it would be 6 minus 2 is 4. And now we have addition, so that's a good sign. So it ends up, we can go ahead and do our substitution. The square root of 3 minus 2 plus 1 over the square root of 6 minus 2 plus 2. So on top, we'll have a 2, not a 1. And then the denominator, 6 minus 2 is 4. Square root of 2 is 2, so we end up with 2 plus 2 is 4. Or this simplifies to become 1/2. There we go. So this is definitely, if you're able to do this one, which means you wouldn't be watching this video anyway, if you're able to do this one, then you can handle pretty much anything you're going to see in your first year university course. All right, definitely a challenging one because it throws in the possibility of having to use 2 conjugates, and that's another extension on your tool belt. So you're always looking at, can you factor? Do you have to get it into one fraction? Do I need to use a conjugate? And you can repeat that rule. Do I need to use a second conjugate? If you have any questions or you need clarification, let me know.